You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming on KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. My name is Rory Rosell, filling in for Unette Gentry on this Tuesday, July 15th. Well, in our top story today, Las Vegas Metro is asking for the public's assistance in identifying the individuals who reportedly dumped a deceased dog near a dumpster last week. News 25 has this story.
The Las Vegas Metro Police Department is asking for the public's assistance in identifying 2 individuals involved in an animal cruelty case. According to investigators, video surveillance from July 10th shows 2 males at approximately 11:45 p.m. pushing a kennel towards a dumpster near the intersection of 27th Street and Valley Street. The individuals are then seen walking northbound on 27th Street before turning eastbound on Sunrise Avenue. Investigators believe the dog was already deceased prior to being placed in the crate and abandoned. The case is being handled by the LVMPD Animal Cruelty Detail in collaboration with the Clark County Animal Protection Service and other community partners. Detectives are urging anyone with information that could identify the 2 individuals in the video to contact Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555 or submit a tip online at www.crimestoppersofnv.com. Tipsters can remain anonymous.
Well, a salary controversy takes center stage in a confirmation hearing for UN Ambassador nominee Mike Waltz, and now lawmakers are demanding answers about payments he received after leaving his White House post. A Senate committee hearing grew tense today, July 15th, as lawmakers questioned the UN ambassador nominee Mike Waltz over reports that he is continuing to receive a White House salary months after leaving his position as the National Security Advisor.
I'm going to start with you because this morning it was reported, despite being removed from your role as National Security Advisor in May, removed from your role, right? Not working. Surprisingly, you've been on the White House payroll for the last few months. So throughout this hearing, you've made assertions that if confirmed, you would root out waste and unnecessary overhead at the UN. So can you confirm for us whether you've been receiving a salary from the White House since being let go at the NSA?
Thank you, Senator. I was not fired. The president never said that, nor did the vice president. I was kept on as an advisor, transitioning a number of important activities, and now hope to be confirmed with the Senate's consent.
So you're saying that you were not dismissed from your role, as was publicly reported, because it's also been publicly reported that you've been receiving almost $200,000 of the taxpayer money since you were dismissed from being the National Security Advisor.
Well, the reporting, Senator, is fake news, which shouldn't surprise anyone. The president was clear. His announcement was, I will nominate
fake news
Mr. Waltz, and then the vice president was quite clear.
Waltz, a retired Army colonel and former Florida congressman, brings years of experience to national security. He served in several House committees and focused on intelligence and defense while holding key roles in the George W. Bush administration. Supporters say his background makes him well suited for the ambassador role, though as the confirmation process unfolds, the salary controversy is drawing increasing attention, leaving questions about whether it could affect his path moving forward. Nevada is now cracking down on repeat DUI offenders. Governor Joe Lombardo has signed a new law that toughens penalties for those convicted of driving under the influence for a second time within 7 years. Let's take a look at the details. Nevada drivers convicted of a second DUI within 7 years will now face a mandatory 20 days in jail, following a newly signed law by Republican Governor Joe Lombardo. This change comes through Senate Bill 309, which the governor signed during a ceremonial event last Wednesday. This legislation was introduced by Senator John Steinbach, who was formerly the chief of the Clark County Fire Department, and it was among one of the most significant DUI-related measures passed during this last year's legislative session, which which ended on June 2nd. This bill increased the minimum jail time for second-time DUI offenders and lowers the blood alcohol content threshold that triggers the mandatory treatment. Currently, Nevada law allows for a sentence of 2 to 180 days for a first DUI offense within 7 years, though that time can often be converted to community service or treatment. The new law specifically targets repeat offenders with stricter penalties aimed at reducing repeat DUIs. Governor Lombardo has also proposed a second legislation that would increase the maximum sentence of DUI-related deaths from 20 to 25 years. Under the existing statute, drivers convicted of deadly DUI crashes face 2 to 20 years in prison, but a 1995 Nevada law requires judges to impose a sentencing range. That means most defendants are eligible for parole after just 8 years, an issue Lombardo and other lawmakers hope to address in the future. The new law reflects a broader push for accountability and stronger consequences for impaired driving across the state of Nevada.
And we will have your sports report coming up after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
And welcome back to News 25. Well, now here is Mikey with your look at sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The 2025 Home Run Derby at Truist Park took place on Monday night. Cal Riley earned himself the title of baseball's top slugger. The Seattle Mariners slugger, who hit 38 home runs before the All-Star break, the second most in MLB history, dispatched the Tampa Bay Rays' 22-year-old Junior Caminero in the final and is the first catcher to win the Home Run Derby. With his dad pitching and younger brother catching, Raleigh became the second Mariner to be crowned Derby champion, joining Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr., who won it 3 times. And the 2025 Major League Baseball All-Star Game just kicked off. That game is in progress. 3 other Vegas natives were picked in the 2025 MLB draft, along with Sal Cecine. Mason Neville was picked by the Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Alberini was picked by the Kansas City Royals, who went to Centennial School. And Jacob Walsh, who went to Desert Oasis, was selected by the Washington Nationals. The Vegas Golden Knights plan to host the annual Battle-Worn Authentics equipment sale on Wednesday, July 23rd at City National Arena. After a series of pre-sale opportunities for season ticket members, the sale will be open to the public from 3 to 6 p.m. on Rink A. The Las Vegas Raiders cut ties with quarterback Carter Bradley. And the Las Vegas Aces visit the Dallas Wings on Wednesday. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thank you, Mikey. Well, does dim lighting got you down? Valley Electric is here to shed some light on what you can do for the best lighting for you.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Finding the right light bulb doesn't have to be hard. Here are a few tips to keep in mind. Buy lumens, not watts. Lumens measure the amount of brightness a bulb gives off. The higher the lumens, the brighter the bulb. Read the label. The lighting fact label will tell you brightness, lumens, annual cost to use the bulb, how long the bulb will last, light appearance, warm to cool. Buy LEDs to save energy. LEDs come in a variety of shapes and sizes and work for most fixtures. Energy Star qualified LEDs can last 25 times longer than incandescent bulbs. Contact Valley Electric Association for more ways you can save energy and money.
It can be easy to get dehydrated in these scorching temperatures, which is why it is so important to make sure you are drinking enough water, though not everybody really likes the taste of it.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
Citrus works wonderful, and it doesn't just have to be lemons or limes. It could be that you have an orange, or you got a grapefruit, that you squeeze some fresh juice at the beginning of the week and you add a little bit to your water every time you have some. That not only may make it a little bit more tasty for you, but it also adds in some nutrients like vitamin C.
Kristen Kirkpatrick is a registered dietitian at Cleveland Clinic. She says while water should be your primary source for hydration, you can also supplement it with fruits and vegetables, specifically those with a high water content. Some examples could include watermelon, strawberries, grapefruit, cantaloupe, lettuce, cucumbers, celery, and tomatoes. Kirkpatrick also adds that milk, tea, and coffee also have water in them. If seltzer water is more of your vibe, make sure it's plain and doesn't include a bunch of ingredients, like artificial sweeteners. The same goes for flavored powders. Instead, consider adding juice from a lemon, lime, or even an orange. As for sports drinks, she suggests skipping those unless it is needed.
So a sports drink is really necessary if we're looking at the replacement of electrolytes, which we know typically occurs after you have about 60 minutes of physical activity. So if we're sitting around all day at the pool, it doesn't make sense to have a sports drink, which is equated to electrolyte replacement. So again, think about those guidelines. When do I really need extra sodium and potassium to replace what was lost? Typically, a sports drink is not necessary for the majority of individuals.
And we'll have more news on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
And welcome back to News 25. Well, now here is Josh Osborne to give you your quick tutorial of this week with great computer deals.
Hey guys, Josh Osborne here with Pahrump Own Great Computer Deals, and it's time for another quick tutorial. Today we're talking about the top 5 ways of spotting fake Facebook posts. So you're like me, you have a Facebook account. If you live here in Pahrump, I guarantee on many occasions you've used some of these Facebook buy-sell groups. They're very popular, thousands of posts every day. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that many of those posts are completely fake. And they're engaging with them, they're commenting on them, they're liking them, they're sharing them, and they have no idea that they're fake. So there are red flags that are out there that people just don't know to look for. Let's talk about them right now. Here are the top 5 ways to spot a fake Facebook post. Number 1, these posts, they're very vague. You gotta understand that these scammers, when they create these posts, they have to apply to any Facebook group on any particular city in the United States. So they're very vague. They're not gonna list anything too particular. So for example, if it's an item that's for sale, they tend not to list the specific address or part of town. If it is a missing pet, they're not gonna list the cross streets where that animal was found because that's too particular. It's not gonna work if they try to fraudulently post that same thing in Peoria, Illinois. So look for those vagaries. That's usually a very clear sign. Number 2, the picture that they show in the post. Say a missing animal will be very generic as well. I saw one the other day that was supposedly a picture of a dog in Pahrump, and the picture showed a forest and hills of grass and green. We don't have that here, obviously. It was clearly a fake post, and this image was a clear sign of it. Number 3, the accounts of the people that are posting these are also very clearly a red flag. When you actually click on the name of that poster, go to their account, look at their account, you're gonna see some very interesting things. When it's a fraudulent post and a fraudulent poster, you're going to see that they have an account that was created just a couple days before. The reason why that account is so new is because their previous account was flagged and was banned for posting junk like this. Now they have to create a new one, so they're doing that constantly. So when you click on the specific account, if it said it was created just a couple days ago, there's another red flag right there. Number 3, you're also going to see that the profile picture of the person in that account that's posting, there's one single picture. Anybody that I know that has a Facebook account has dozens, sometimes hundreds of pictures on their account. If there's only one single profile picture, that's a clear sign right there. And lastly, number 5, if the profile that you go to for that poster has no other things on the timeline, no information being posted from one of their friends, nothing that they posted themselves about something unrelated, that's clearly a sign. That is an account that is not getting any other activity except for being created to post fake Facebook listings on these buy and sell groups. So check it out. Look through these things before you do anything. And I know your hearts are in the right place. When you see a post of a missing child or a lost animal, you want to help out. You want to be that good Samaritan, but you're not doing anybody any favors if you're spreading fake information. It's only making the problem worse, and it's gumming up these buy-sell groups. So let's clean it up. Help me out. When you see one of these posts that is clearly fake, click on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner and click Report Post. That will flag it, and enough of us flag these things, they'll pull it down. Hopefully we can shut down a lot of these accounts that are constantly posting this garbage and clean things up and make it easier on everybody. So keep an eye out for those signs, guys. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
It's sunny outside, and right now, wow, it is too hot to trot. Mikey will have your weather report after this break.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. I'm Mike Ruhan from the Channel 25 Weather Studios. Let's check out the temperatures. Fernley saw 101, Fallon 103, 93 in Carson City. That's pretty cool. 95 in Tonopah. Goldfield saw 96 today. Beatty 106, 111 in Amargosa. Las Vegas 108. Death Valley 122. That's hot, but here in our beautiful paradise of Pahrump, our current temperature is 105. We hit 106 earlier. Winds blowing hard at south, 17 miles per hour, 13% humidity. The sun rose this morning at 5:38, and it's going to go away this evening at 8:01 p.m. Humidity goes up to 19%. The wind, southeast, 16 miles per hour, and the low, not very low, 80 degrees. Let's check out the 7-day forecast. Only 102 tomorrow. That's pleasant. 100 on Thursday. Look at Friday, 97. Might whip out my winter jacket. 101 on Saturday, 102 on Sunday and Monday. That's nice. And then on Tuesday, an even 100. Back to the desk. Here's Rory.
Thank you so much, Mikey. Well, that is going to wrap up this edition of News 25. My name is Rory Rossell. Hope you guys have an amazing evening. Good night.